I just got into it with a guy at Google the other day, and he's a senior level guy, and very smart. Right, these guys are brilliant, right? But I made a case. He was a guest in my class, and I made a case that as an entrepreneur and startup, you should put together your media campaign for 12 months, right? Work on it, spend a day, spend an afternoon, put it together, decide what you want to do, allocate the budget appropriately, turn the key on, let it run, and let it run for a year. And then come back a year later, evaluate, look at it, make adjustments, see what worked, see what didn't work, redraw the plan, align it with your budget, and then turn the key back on, and then let it run for a year. Now, the point I'm trying to make there is this exact concept that Gary Vee and we're talking about here, which is speed. I mean, I'm not like that. That is not a hurried process. And his point, he kind of blew me up. His point was, yeah, but you can go on Google, and I mean, every 15 minutes you can be analyzing your results, and you can be tweaking, you can be changing, you can be. I'm like, yeah, but that's if Google is your answer. Sorry, the Google search, whatever it is, Google AdWords is not the answer to every single business out there. In fact, I would say there's a limited number of businesses. I said I would turn Google on, and I would turn it on. Maybe a year is too long. Okay, I'll take that, right? But I wouldn't be looking at it every 30 days, maybe once a quarter. And so that's that whole concept of just slowing down and really understanding and listening to what's going on out there, especially from your customer.
That's what I was going to ask.
And then,
so you jumped it there because you're so brilliant. And I'm thinking, okay, if Google isn't the metric, in my mind, I'm like, well, of course it's going to be the customer, right?
Right.
So where do you go? Where does an entrepreneur? So BIGGBY in your first 10 stores, 15 stores, 20 stores, when an entrepreneur is starting out, how do you listen to the customer?
What are they buying is the simplest metric, right? So I think the most brilliant story that I've ever heard on this topic is Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook. And you may have heard this story, but it was meant to be a directory. It was meant to be a phone book, right, for universities. And there was a moment when he looked and he said, boy, people are changing out their profile photos a lot. And he started to pay attention to that. And then he realized this was more than a directory. This was a way for people to share what was going on for them. And so then he focused in on making it simpler and easier and more robust to change out profile photos and then also to load other content. Obviously, in the end, it became Facebook. But had he missed that nuance, had he missed that in the beginning, he wouldn't have built Facebook, right? Facebook would not have become what it is. And all he was doing was paying attention to what the customer was doing with his product. And, we talk to our students all the time about, you think your business, your product is in your brain, because we deal with a lot of engineering students and so on that are coming up with ideas. You think that your product is well baked today, that you want to launch, and it's it's going to revolutionize the world, right? You're gonna be the next Steve Jobs, like bringing a product to people that they don't even know they need, that whole thing, right? In the end, if you talk to most successful entrepreneurs, the product they ended up with in the world is very different than the product they launched with, through iteration and listening to the customer and watch. Best example from our world. We used to have our menu boards up where the left board, most powerful board, because we read here in the United States, we read left to right. The left board is the powerful board. And we used to have the traditional Italian drinks. We used to have the cappuccino, the macchiato, the espresso, the traditional drinks there. And then one board over was what we lovingly refer to as the sweet bomb lattes in our world, right? So the latte with chocolate and caramel and vanilla whipped cream on top, garnish, And
how'd you know what I stopped to get this morning?
We very quickly realized no one was buying a macchiato or a campana. Nobody cared. I mean, we were selling one a day, and everybody was buying the
flavor lattes.
Yeah, and so we took the board that was 2 in and moved it to the left hand board, and then we made our business about selling sweet bomb lattes. and we focused on selling sweet bomb lattes for 15 years. And that's just paying attention and listening to. And so our concept ended up being quite different than what we expected it to be when we launched.